So how well do you know Knysna? Today, I'm aiming at teaching residents and visitors interesting facts about our marvelous town. Education can be fun. What are the nuts and bolts of our town's personality that can schizophrenically be one of South Africa's greatest tourist destinations, yet a place of unemployment for almost 1/3 of our adults? Although survey results can really be considered a 100% statement of fact, Stats SA provides statistics that, at the very least, act as a guide or a foundation to exploring our town. First off, the Knysna municipal area is quite large. It's 1,059 square kilometers. If you're not used to square kilometers, don't take this as exact, because width and heights and lengths change all over, but that would be approximately 40 kilometers wide by 25 kilometers deep. That's 1,059 square kilometers. There are 19 councillors, and this is expected to increase to 21 when Ward 11 is added later this year. The DA is currently in charge of Knysna, but the new councillor post guarantees a very tight race between the ANC and the DA at the 2016 local elections. Power is up for grabs. According to the 2011 census, 68,659 people live here. This figure is debatable, as even the municipality works on a higher figure. But considering that census difficulties will be experienced by all towns and cities, it still makes for a reasonable platform for comparison, us versus other towns. The population of our town by racial demographic is 40.9% colored, 36.1% black African, 21% white, and with other population groups making up the remaining 2%. So again, the colored demographic is the highest at almost 41%, black people at 36%, and white people at 21%. Out of 226 municipalities in South Africa, Knysna ranks 143rd in population size. In contrast, the percentage of elderly, that's people 65 years and over, we're in the top 20. That's a big difference. It's a safe assumption that what the elderly think and vote makes a greater influence here than in most of the country. It might also explain why our town sometimes is so conservative. Good news for the guys is that there's approximately 687 more women than us. Now that's cool. Now all we've got to do is find them. Education. Of those older than 20 years of age, 57% do not have matric. I mean, that's horrifying, and in a way explains why we have so many difficulties in our town, and that will be something that happens across South Africa. 57% do not have matric. Interestingly, the most spoken language in town by all races is English. They call it the universal language. Well, I'm sure the Chinese don't, but lucky for me, being English, it is. And I say it's interesting in a context of Knysna, because the top 3 languages spoken at home, in order, finds English only at 3rd, with 15% of the population. Number 1 would be Afrikaans, 49.9%. and isiXhosa at 27.7%. Income. Well, we all know that people earn less in Knysna. Approximately 3% earn more than 50,000 Rand per month. Inequality it's huge, especially when you consider that 71.6% of the working population earns anything from nothing to 6,367 Rand per month. I'm amongst that lot. And I mean, that means that 7/10 of our population doesn't have to contribute via income tax. Right? That places the burden even more on those who earn more, and in some cases makes their lives as difficult as ours. Unemployment is high, 24.8%. That's an official figure. I know many people don't believe it, and I can give you some justification for not believing it, i.e. it's higher. You know, street stall holders, are they really employed? All right, occasionally there, some days, occasionally not. The percentage could be argued higher, and much higher if you included the 2,459 people who have given up looking for a job. All right, those should never ever not be included. So Knysna's unemployment is probably nearer the 30% mark. Youth unemployment, which is probably where it counts the most when you're looking at the future, for those between the ages of 15 who've left school and 34 years of age, is even higher, falling in the bottom third segment of South Africa. I will try to give you a comparison, hopefully not too awkward. If this were a test, and we started with the top municipality in South Africa that had the least unemployment and gave them 100% for their test, Knysna in relationship would receive a failure grade with 27%. But as an actual percentage of the population, youth unemployment is 32.3%, and that is scary. Looking at farming, we have 1,997 agricultural households, of which 32% are involved in vegetable farming. Knysna is a diverse town. It ranges from holiday homes, to center of town and malls, all the way across the countryside. It's an interesting dynamic and not at all the easiest to manage. Relationships, 31.1% of people are married, 9.3% are living together like married partners, and 2.4% are divorced or separated. So, you know, approximately 1,648 people have had a very disastrous relationship. You know, services, flush toilets are connected to sewage, 66.8% of them. 93% of our population has their refuse removed weekly. So that's a good thing, a lot more up than it was in the past. Pipe water inside dwellings is 67%, so something that is desperately still needed to be worked on. And electricity for lighting is 88.8%. Well, there's so much more about our town, but hopefully that gives you some kind of indication what we're dealing with and what we are part of. It is our town, and we need to address these issues, the ones that are problematic, and with knowledge and understanding, and we need to celebrate the facts that are just plain interesting. All right, cheers, Knysna.